Sometimes we read too deep into things, and when we find something that we can't explain, something strange, or something that just doesn't coincide with our own logic, oftentimes this leads us to far-reaching theories or conspiracies. It's our minds trying to fill in the blank, fill the gap for that missing piece of the puzzle. And while it can be fun and entertaining to want to live in a world where there are no coincidences, the reality is that usually the simplest explanation is the correct one, even if it's not something that we want to hear. Recently, a post was made over on the Creepy Gaming subreddit detailing a user on Steam and their fairly bizarre behavior. For privacy reasons, this person will remain anonymous. This user in question had mainly played a single game, Skyrim. Nothing strange about that. However, they had over 8,600 screenshots taken using the Steam overlay and posted to their profile, all captioned with the same phrase. OMNIVERSEPARTOFDREAMOMTRUM bhrum. I'm probably gonna butcher this, you guys. That's about one screenshot every 3.5 minutes for 540 hours. That's quite the commitment. This resulted in several theories and lots of speculation from fellow Redditors, ranging from this must be an ARG, the OP is in on it, and comparisons were also drawn to another long-standing Reddit mystery, that being the YAYVIDEOGAMES incident. So what exactly is the YAYVIDEOGAMES incident? In 2010, a user asked a question on the r/gaming subreddit. Just got Oblivion for PC. What are your favorite mods? A fairly innocuous post that one would expect to find over on the gaming subreddit, but it's in the replies to this post where things get strange. The uninstall button. The game is great and all that, but god, it is hard to fully remove all the junk it leaves behind on your system. You really need to check out that mod when the time comes to get rid of it. Otherwise, I think Oscuro's Oblivion overhaul is a nice start. What? The uninstall button. The game is great. Ubisoft go steamworks bye-bye, always on DRM. But you oft go work, always on work DR. Check out the junk it leaves behind in you. This makes even less sense. Oblivion has an uninstall button, it works. I've used more times than I care to mention. All mods install themselves in Oblivion's directory. The uninstall doesn't touch them, as it is unaware. All you do is delete the Oblivion directory. What followed was the user YAYVIDEOGAMES responding rapidly in a series of repeated text. Ubisoft goes steamworks bye-bye, always on DRM. Over and over, but not always exactly the same. It was typed in across multiple posts with nuanced differences, changes in punctuation, capitalization, random typos. YAYVIDEOGAMES replied in this fashion 4,000 times until the account was eventually banned. Given the nature of the responses and the variations in how they were typed in, it's suggested that these weren't copy and pasted, nor was it likely that this was the work of a bot, but rather, these were all input manually. To make things even weirder, some replies also contained images. These images were completely random, unrelated. If they all had one thing in common, it's that they were all bizarre, unsettling even. And one image was a handwritten note of the same phrase, Ubisoft goes steamworks bye-bye, always on DRM, over and over. This further solidified the fact that this was not done by a bot. It just didn't make any sense. Why would a person do this? What was really going on here? So many questions. It left Redditors baffled, and before long, the YAYVIDEOGAMES incident cemented itself as a staple in online unsolved mysteries, and it would remain a mystery for nearly 10 years. Sometimes the truth is heavier than any tale or theory that the internet can spin up. It's reality slapping you in the face, not something glamorous, not some elaborate ploy, just harsh reality. In 2019, YAYVIDEOGAMES posts were eventually traced back to a man suffering from chronic pain. Without proper care or proper medication, a man who suffered from trauma from their childhood, who more than likely was also battling mental illness that went undiagnosed. Someone who just didn't get the help that they needed. In a public forum, you never know who may be on the other end of the keyboard, and in this case, it was YAYVIDEOGAMES, whose episode of psychosis had him repeating that now infamous response over and over again. It's difficult to track and to credit the exact user responsible for uncovering the truth behind Yay Video Games, as most of the discoveries were a collaborative effort over on the Yay Video Games subreddit. But I will say that the story received a spike in activity and interest as a result of Nexpo's video on the topic. If you're interested in a much more in-depth look at this story, I suggest you take a look at his video and do some reading over on the subreddit. We're really just scratching the surface here. And shortly after, in March 2019, the community who were invested in the mystery got their closure, as a close friend named Luke, who knew Yay Video Games personally, was able to verify and confirm that he had tragically taken his own life in 2015. It was a bitter end to a once enthralling mystery, but it was an important story that needed to be told. For many, it was an emotional revelation, as people had delved deep into this person's online history, their comments, their DeviantArt page, YouTube channel, followed the breadcrumbs that led them to this point. In a strange way, it was like taking a glimpse into their world and the personal struggles they were facing. Luke, who held an AMA on the Yay Video Games subreddit, shared that he was completely unaware of the near decade-long mystery his late friend unknowingly set into motion, and admitted that he likely would have loved that there was so much mystery surrounding him following his passing. If there's any positive to take away from this story, it's something. If we can learn anything from this, it's that again, on the internet, you never know who's on the other side. People at their best, people at their worst, or in the case of the user incessantly screen capping their Skyrim exploits, people from all walks of life. You see, this user's profile, the imagery, the captions in the screenshots, all indicate that instead of anything strange or bizarre, they're religious. Chinese Buddhist, most likely. Perhaps a little extreme, but what some may call fanatical, another may call devout. It depends on your view. It's like how Corbin Bleu from High School Musical has one of the most translated pages for an individual in all of Wikipedia, up there among the ranks with Jesus Christ, Isaac Newton, Leonardo da Vinci, and of course your boy Corbin Bleu. This too has been traced back to a single individual who made the vast majority of the edits and translations. There's no denying that the internet loves a good mystery, who doesn't? Looking for rational explanations for unexplainable occurrences. But when it comes to seemingly unexplainable behavior from an individual, we often fail to see the very real, very rational causes that lead to such actions. It's easier and more convenient to believe that everyone thinks exactly as we do. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Deep Cuts. As always, please let me know what you thought about it and hit that like button if you enjoyed it. It helps me out a lot. And consider binging the rest of the Deep Cuts videos using the playlist to check out some of the other stories that we've covered on this channel. Thanks so much for watching this one, guys. Peace.